the ACLU, one of the founding fathers of the ACLU.
And the father of the social justice movement, or the social gospel movement.
Well, let's put it this way. Going back into the late 1800s, there were others that were wrestling with social problems.
Right.
And we can think of the name Washington Gladden, Walter Rauschenbusch. These were great theologians that were trying to address problems of orphanages, lack of education. Right. And there have always been social problems that need to be addressed. And they were calling the church to do it. But what had happened is that they began to lose focus in the truth of the Bible. They stopped believing, as you've called it, the individual character of salvation. Instead of one coming to the cross to find Jesus Christ as the crucified, buried, and risen Savior, the one who saves sinners, they started to turn to society. And they said salvation is when the society feeds you, when it gives you clothes, when it gives you a better hospital, when it keeps your house from burning. Now, all of those things are good. But that's not the gospel. Those are implications of the gospel. And what liberalism did is that it said we no longer can believe in Jesus as God or Jesus as crucified and risen and coming again. We can't believe that. So what we've done is we've kept all the language and we've changed its meaning. And that is social justice thinking. It's liberalism in the cloak of Christianity. That was Dr. Machen's fundamental insight.
Let me ask you this, America. Does it sound crazy? I mean, you've just seen, I just showed you a minute ago, the jobs bill was a jobs bill because they knew you wouldn't buy the stimulus bill anymore. This is all progressives do. Change the language over and over until they find something where it fits in and locks in with you. You, unfortunately, haven't had anybody expose all of this stuff in a mainstream way, and so it's just gotten out of control. And your churches are in dire, dire danger. Well, let me ask you this. Your university churns out a lot of ministers, I'm guessing?
About 15% of our 8,600 graduates are going into the ministry.
Okay. Are you seeing, overall in America, church-wide, faith-wide, you seeing an increase or decrease of parishioners in the last 25 years in America?
In the conservative churches, there's been growth. In the mainline churches, National Council of Churches, it's shrunk.
Rapid decline.
Yes.
Okay. And if you look at it overall, you mix everybody in, rapid decline.
Yes.
My theory is, because somebody asked me today, well, why would they do this, Glenn, with social justice? Why would they do this? My theory is, and I'd love to hear your thought on this, is that they're already indoctrinating our children. There is no God. God's not playing a role. Churches are, and so it's already dying. But there's still gas left in the tank. There's gas left in the tank with, those of us who grew up in a different era where we looked at God. These people are using the last bit of gas in that tank, and they're burning it through because we will become the Church of England, or what the churches are in Europe, which is, they're empty.
I think it might be more insidious than that. When I read over the president's report last night on his faith-based initiative, it sounded more like a takeover, like we've seen with the banking industry, like we've seen with the auto industry, with like healthcare. And because the reason I say that is because the word partnership was in there probably every other sentence.
Okay, hang on. When we come back, I want to finish this thought, and I also want to bring you back to George Whitefield and what do we do